Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
Welcome to The Social. We'd like to welcome back Executive Director of The Walrus, Jennifer Hollett. Welcome back.
Great to be here. And I have to say, I've been recognized out in public for being on The Social. And the audience is just so friendly and loyal, so thank you all.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
We do have the best fans.
That's nice to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, the verdict is in. According to People magazine, the sexiest man alive is Jonathan Bailey of Bridgerton and Wicked fame. My goodness, my oh my oh my. I don't know if you know this, but he is the first publicly out gay person to receive this award. I don't even, who cares? You know what, I just say fine is fine. Fine is fine. Jen, what is your reaction to this choice?
Meh.
Oh! Wow, Jen, how come the meh?
Obviously, he's very attractive.
Yes.
Throw in a cute guy with a cute puppy, that helps.
It's true.
But it's very garden variety, like your typical sexiest man alive.
To that point,
Wow.
well,
Out of that balloon.
That's how I feel.
I mean, I feel like you have a lot to say about this, and then I'll get to my point afterwards. You go.
I think he's so hot. You know what? I love him. I wasn't aware of who he was before Bridgerton, and when we were all stuck at home and everybody was just saying, I burned for you, I was thinking of this guy, actually, because I don't care if he's gay or straight.
Sure.
He's just hot. Hot is hot, according to me. Mm-hmm. But what I love about him is I think there is a ruggedness about him. He looks like a guy's guy and a girl's guy. And he also said something in an interview for this that I thought was really intriguing. And he said every straight man should have a gay male friend. And I thought, what a really interesting thing to say. And I will say this, I can only speak from my experience. I think everybody should have gay friends, first of all, obviously. But specifically men, I think any men that I know who are straight, who have a gay friend, are a better man. Period.
I mean, this is great public policy. I support this.
okay.
But in terms of like, it just seems like, of course.
Garden variety. You've
Well,
seen this
to give
before.
you an example of like just what you're talking about. So while I do think it's progress, obviously a first out gay man, very great. But the last 5 People's Sexiest covers, can we just have a look at them?
Oh, okay.
So we got there John Krasinski,
What do they have in
2024,
common?
Patrick Dempsey,
yeah.
2023, Chris Evans, 2022, and Paul Rudd, 2021. Have they really made any progress when it's just another white brunette man?
With the same beard. He even has
Basically the same beard. I don't know. It
Interesting.
seems like there's a vibe there that's very similar.
Okay, I did not notice that, but you know what? For years, I was always kind of criticizing, like, I don't know if this guy is hot, and then I realized, no, this has nothing to do with abs and jawlines. This is Hollywood's way of saying, you are next. This is the next hot guy. Get used to this face, because he's gonna be in billboards everywhere. We know the success of Bridgerton, which everybody kind of knows him for. He'd been a great actor for a long time and probably number 10 on the call sheet. But when you see him on the cover, he's now number 1 on the call sheet. So to me, this is all about business. It's like, prepare yourself. Part 2 of Wicked is coming out, so you're gonna see a lot more of him. He did very well in Jurassic, the last movie that he did with Scarlett Johansson. So I feel like this is Hollywood's way of saying, get used to him, he's here to stay, he's our next leading man.
Is he the sexiest man alive?
Jen,
It doesn't matter.
Jen,
It doesn't
can I
matter.
ask you?
Okay.
Who do you think is sexy?
Okay, so for me, especially today, all eyes on Zoran Mamdani, who is running for mayor of New York City. Not only do I think he has a look,
He has that look. He has the same look. He's basically got the beard and the brunette. Okay,
He's
go for
kind
it
of the
though.
same look.
Go for it.
It's
You
about
defend.
his intelligence. It's his inner beauty.
Oh!
I just think what he is doing right now,
Yeah.
making a mayoral race about the people and affordability,
Sexy.
he is positioned
Everybody
to be the
knows
next
who he
mayor.
is, right? Yeah.
I think he's positioned to be the next mayor of New York City, and I think what he's doing in politics is very sexy. And for me, it's not just about the look, that's part of it, but it's also about what you represent and how you're engaging with
But
people.
I will point out he has the same scruffy beard and the same haircut, Jen. I'm just saying.
Broad shoulders.
Broad shoulders, same good, nice jawline.
You know.
I don't know, Jen. But you know
Probably
what?
has abs.
Let's move on to another notable person. Margaret Atwood's memoir comes out today, and according to reviews, she lays into childhood bullies, blasts male critics, and condescending interviewers, and reveals how the Canadian literary scene was at times a hotbed of vicious gossip, jealousy, and backstabbing. Wow. All right, so when asked why she wrote the memoir now, Atwood said, people died. There's things that you can say that you couldn't say when they were alive. So when is the right time to call people out professionally? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't think I could do this, even if they were all dead. I feel like the reason is I'm glad that Margaret's doing it, though. I'm kind of excited to read this. But I feel like even though there would be people who I'd love to sort of like shine a light on, people who many people would think is, oh, you know, the perfect person, they've been so nice or helpful. Sometimes you want to shed a light on the other side of that story. But everyone has their own stories of people. And so I feel like fans of whomever she might be criticizing or family members might have their own take on whatever this is. So I just don't think you win when you call people out
Well, they
in
can
that way.
write their own memoir.
Well,
Sure.
Or their own tweet. I mean, I was brought up in the Catholic tradition of forgive and forget. It is very hard to do, but I believe in the spirit of that. So I'm more of a fan of if any of us have a situation, I mean, this is a working relationship, to address it in the moment. I know that can be hard to do, but I think grudges are a lot of weight on those who carry them.
that's right.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference, though, because I'm waiting to hear what the stories are, because a grudge is one thing. I think there's a gender component to this, because to me, it shows that nothing has really changed. Margaret Atwood is in her 80s, and she is still waiting for people to die before she can even talk about them. And I think that's really interesting for women. I think for a lot of us, we have seen and endured a lot of stuff in the office, in the workplace, in relationships. There is a consequence for women who speak out against people, even if it's something really horrendous. And so I do think that, and she just proved it. She's like, I gotta wait till they're dead to talk about them, because she's one of the most powerful authors in the world, and she's scared of consequences. So I'm not gonna be speaking up. I don't know if I would ever speak up against people who I have stories about. I might wait till they're dead as well, because we have words for women who do this because we like our women a certain way.
But would you chat with me
know?
if something happened?
Yes.
Would you chat with me and be like,
Yes,
hey, can
but
we
this
talk
is
about
different.
it?
Off
camera,
camera.
away from
Yeah.
camera.
Listen, you know what's very interesting? I'm with you, Jen. I don't think it's right to wait till the person's passed away, because then you're putting it on the family of that person to kind of hear this, and like they weren't there for it, so how are they going to respond? But I will say I understand where Atwood is coming from, and I don't think it's a gender thing, because this reminds me of a few years ago. Last year, Quincy Jones died, but a few years back, 5 years probably before he passed away, he started opening up about all kinds of stuff that he had been sitting on for decades, and they were bombshells. And when you hear what he had to say, you'll realize why he couldn't say it when those people were alive. The first one that hit me was he called the Beatles the worst musicians in the world. He said Ringo couldn't play the drums to save his life. He also accused Michael Jackson of stealing a whole lot of songs. You couldn't say that while he was alive, especially because you worked on Thriller, Michael's biggest album. And this bombshell, he said that comedian Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando were lovers. Could you imagine if he had said that while those two men were alive, those two juggernauts? So I understand that it depends on who you're talking about and the level of your career, where you kind of do have to wait till people are resting in peace somewhere quietly.
Well, they're not resting in peace after that anymore.
I know, it's a lot.
Well, ultimately, Margaret Atwood is sharing her life story. We're very interested in that. She's an incredible writer, and that is her story to tell. And we all have a story to tell. So that's my hope, is in a memoir or in fiction that we think about our own story and how we tell it. So I'm looking forward to reading as well.
I
have so
can't
much
wait.
respect for her.
Margaret, if you're watching, please come on the social to talk about your book.
Spill your beans here.
So Dax Shepard revealed on the Armchair Expert podcast that he and wife Kristen Bell are raising entitled daughters that are allowed to, quote, talk back and be disrespectful. Why, you might ask? Well, Dax said that he wants them to always advocate for themselves, whether he thinks they're right or wrong. So Jen, do you think encouraging kids to talk back is going to serve them well as adults?
I used to work in this very studio as a Much Music VJ back in the day. This was the early 2000s. And in that era, the biggest thing was the Osbournes. And everyone was obsessed on how the kids were swearing and how Ozzy and Sharon were parenting their kids. And this was also a tipping point for reality TV becoming mainstream. And I remember seeing in a news magazine program an expert on family saying, actually, this is a really good family. They're spending time together, they're engaged, the parents are talking and listening to their kids. And I think that Dax is being provocative. He's a podcast host, but it sounds like they are a very engaged family. They're listening to their kids, they're having back and forth, that the family unit is strong. And I think that is really good because they're high profile parents. They easily could have their kids raised by nannies. So yeah, it's a little provocative and shocking, but I think it's a good thing. I think they are actively giving advice to their kids and that the family is engaged as a unit. I heard like 2 claps. They're not convinced. They're not convinced.
They're warming
audience.
up. I want to find out from the parents what you guys think about
Well,
this.
I mean, I just think, for me, I do not think this is great advice. And I hear everything you're saying, and I'm taking it in. But for me, I've been a former manager, and I'm just picturing, as a female, that moment of where somebody comes up to you and they start like mouthing off. They start being disrespectful. And I just don't think that that's going to incur any goodwill, and that's going to actually, like, to me, a lot of times it's like you don't know what you don't know when you're starting out in a career, and to me that could be so off-putting. I don't know if he's setting them up for success in that case.
Weren't we just talking about the earlier segment how it's important for women to speak up and we still can't speak up?
Speak up and
But I think
disrespectful are 2 different things.
And I also think it's about, on top of that, I think it's about knowing when and where. And I think it takes time to build confidence, build skills, and build that kind of like repertoire where you actually have enough life experience to be able to say whatever it is that you want to say, speak truth to power at the right time when you have the right amount of knowledge. That's what I think.
I'll say, as the only one here who has a daughter, just like they're raising a daughter, I don't like the word disrespectful, but there's a spirit behind what he is saying that I absolutely do align with. And so I'm not raising my daughter to be disrespectful, but I am raising my daughter to understand her voice and her words have value. And to me, this is not a behavior for us and our family as much as it is what are the values that you have. Your values should dictate how you are raising your children. So she has seen, and the way that we all treat each other, we all treat each other with respect. We treat elders with respect. We treat people with respect. But respect is a two-way street. And I think too often, speaking as a 48-year-old recovering people pleaser with a side of perfectionism, we have done a disservice to girls generally in North American culture, that we always consistently put ourselves second, that we always put other people's needs first. So there's a middle ground there that I think, I want to believe that they're talking about, which is raising your girls to put other people first, while it sounds like a sweet thing, turns into a very toxic trait, in my opinion, as a woman when we're older. So
I totally agree with you.
I look at my daughter and I always tell her, you're gonna stand up for people who need to be stood up for.
That's good.
You're gonna
Great
stand up
advice.
for yourself. Because the way I look at her is I'm raising a leader, and I imagine her in a boardroom being the only woman, and I'll be damned if anyone is gonna mansplain to my...
And here's the thing. Now, if Dax and Kristen said that, I think we would all be on board. But when you say, I am going to encourage, whether they are right or wrong, for them to be disrespectful, I would love for the teachers who have to deal with them from 9 to 3 to have a little say-so in that. The ref who's part of their soccer team to have a little say-so in that. There's something about it. First of all, I don't think children need help to be disrespectful. Have you been around a child? Rude right off the bat. I think you have to learn what you want is to not take whatever's happened in your life, because that's what I'm hearing from the two of them. You went through something, and you want to make sure your daughters don't go through it. So you think you're going to arm them with this information. But suppose you have a daughter who doesn't have that kind of personality. Suppose you have a wallflower who's like, I don't have that voice to speak up and be disrespectful. It makes me very uncomfortable. You're not taking into account your child. You're putting your stuff on your kid.
Let me give you an example. I agree.
I think you should always teach your children. You want them to be able to stand up for themselves. And when they know they're right and they can prove it, to say so in the moment. But the word disrespect is where you lose everybody, because you could be the greatest person in the world, but if you are difficult to work with and be around, you will not be, no one wants to be around you. I'm sorry.
Surely they know their kids better than we do.
Yeah, but we're also talking about two very privileged kids growing up with very rich parents, and I think arming them with the ability to like mouth off to people, I just don't see how that makes a better world for us.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Yeah. I think my last point on this was an example. So a lot of us know the example where somebody comes over, it's a family friend or it's a creepy uncle, and they always say, go and hug your uncle, go and hug and kiss your uncle, because it's expected, especially of girls, to be kind and polite. And I've seen it time and time again where the little girl is not comfortable going to give the weird uncle a hug or a kiss. And I'll be honest, it's not disrespect to say, no, mommy, thank you, I don't want to. And I'm going to stand by my daughter if she says
but she doesn't have to be rude to that person.
Right.
I also, people do that to me, and I'm a woman. I go, if your child is not feeling it, they do not have, I tell the child, I go, you don't have to hug me, we just met. It's okay. So it's also on us adults to also guide them as well.
Absolutely.
Parenting expert Andrea Bain. You're
So Jen, you have you always have really exciting events associated with your magazine, The Walrus, and you're putting one on today. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So this evening I'll be hosting The Walrus Talks at Home on place and belonging. This is a part of a series we're doing with the Belonging Forum. So think about how we create spaces to welcome people in. Public libraries, parks, art. We'll be getting into tonight at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's free and online at thewalrus.ca, so we invite you to join us.
I love. Yes,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah. It's kind of the opposite of being disrespectful. How can we create spaces in where we can be ourselves, but also like everyone is welcome?
We got enough disrespect going around the world right now.
Well, thank you so much, as always, for being here and sharing your thoughts. We love having you here. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.